Hello and welcome. Ever look at the world around you? The ups and downs of the stock market, how a sickness spreads through a community, or even just traffic patterns, and feel like it's just impossibly complex? It often feels like chaos, doesn't it? But what if I told you that beneath that apparent chaos, there are often hidden patterns, connections that we can understand using the language of mathematics? That's the core idea behind mathematical modeling. It's about translating real-world situations into mathematical forms, equations, algorithms, frameworks, so we can study them, learn from them, and maybe even predict what happens next. So why bother with this translation? Why turn reality into math? Well, the reasons are compelling. Firstly, it forces us to really think clearly about a problem. To build a model, you have to define what parts are important and how they interact. This process itself deepens our understanding. Secondly, models can help us predict the future. Think about forecasting weather patterns, the spread of a disease, or economic trends. Mathematical models are crucial tools for this. Thirdly, models allow us to find the polyquantum way to do something. This is called optimization, and it's vital in areas like logistics, planning delivery routes, or engineering design. Models also let us play what if. We can explore different possibilities and their potential outcomes safely and cheaply, without risky real-world experiments. Finally, models are fundamental to designing entirely new things, like aircraft or communication networks, and figuring out how to control them effectively. Now, creating a good model isn't just about plugging numbers into a computer. It's a blend of art and science, an iterative process. It starts with clearly defining the question you want to answer. What system are you looking at? And what are the key things that matter? Then comes a crucial step: simplification. The real world is far too messy to capture perfectly, so modelers ignore less important details and make specific assumptions about how things work. It's vital to remember these assumptions, as they define what the model kind of can and asterisk cannot do. Next is the translation into math. This might involve different tools depending on the problem. Differential equations for things changing smoothly over time, like population growth. Statistical models when dealing with randomness and data. Agent-based models that simulate individual actions to see large-scale patterns, like crowd behavior. Or network models for relationships, like social networks or supply chains. Once formulated, the model is solved, often using computers to get results, predictions, patterns, or optimal solutions. But you're not done yet. The critical next step is validation. Does the model's output match what we see in the real world? If not, you go back, revisit your assumptions, and refine the model. It's often a loop. Finally, the mathematical results need to be translated back into meaningful insights for the original problem, and clearly communicated. And this isn't just theoretical stuff. Mathematical modeling is practical, used everywhere. In biology and medicine, it helps track epidemics like COVID-19 or understand how drugs work. In physics and engineering, it's used to design bridges, predict climate change, and model fluid flow. Economists and financial analysts use models to forecast markets and assess risk. Even social sciences use models to simulate traffic or understand how opinions spread. Of course, modeling isn't a perfect crystal ball. There are challenges. Making a model more realistic often makes it much harder to solve. Good models usually need good data, which isn't always easy to get. Sometimes, small changes in the initial assumptions can lead to very different results. And truly proving a model is accurate for a complex real-world system can be incredibly difficult. Perhaps the biggest risk is misinterpretation, forgetting the model's limitations and treating it as absolute truth. But despite these challenges, mathematical modeling is an incredibly powerful tool. It gives us a structured way to look inside the complex systems that shape our world. It helps us move from just observing to truly understanding the mechanics, predicting possibilities, and designing better solutions. It's one of our best methods for making sense of complexity and navigating the future. Thanks for tuning in.